you're used to living in the fast lane, spending loads of money, right? And then you retire, you're on what I call a Skoda budget, but you're still living in the fast lane. That's going to end horribly wrong for you, you know? So you have to try and adapt your life, you know? So for me, towards the end of my career, I decided to retire from the sport. Many people retire from competition in different ways, where some people get the sack, some people get injuries. For me, I retired because I kind of felt I went as far as I could within the sport, saw myself moving down rankings, done everything I could do within my career to try and be number one, but failed, if that makes sense. I didn't reach that goal. I had quite a few, about 4 title eliminator fights. Every time I fell at the final hurdle. So it just became a job. And then it got to the stage where I wasn't enjoying it as much. So I decided to retire. I retired in 2017, I believe. And then I had to start a new career. So this is the kind of the thing where it's always, I explain this a lot, it's always tricky, especially in any athlete, you know. Athlete's career is very short compared to their life. So most people, if you have a normal trade, you're a plumber, you're an electrician, or whatever trade, you're a doctor, any sort of trade you have, when you get to the age around about 35, you're very much developed within your skill set of your craft, and then you normally sometimes venture off out and create your own business and so on and so forth, and you do it like that way. Where in fighting at the age of 35, that's when your career is diminishing and you're finishing, and then what? So there's a very few people go into commentary, being a pundit, you know. Some people go into coaching, like myself. Some people going into management. Some people stay within sport, but some other people just have to go back to a job. And don't get me wrong, even in the sport, some people have a job, a craft, and fight at the same time. And sometimes when they retire, they go back to that craft. But that's not everyone. Some people have no idea, and that's quite scary. That's why you also, some people who at the top of the sport earn a lot of money. You think about that in other sports as well as American football, all those big sports. They earn crazy money at a young age, not clever with it, don't invest it very well, have the wrong people around them, and then they wash up. And then they finish their career, and then they have nothing to fall back on. Also, 2 things. Sometimes, for me, when I was fighting, I was earning good money, don't get me wrong. But also I wasn't stupid to know that I wasn't going to earn this money for the rest of my life, you know. So if you get used to how I explain to some people I know, if you're used to living in the fast lane, spending loads of money, right? And then you retire, you're on what I call a Skoda budget, but you're still living in the fast lane. That's going to end horribly wrong for you, you know. So you have to try and adapt your life, you know. For me, coaching always come very natural to me. So like I used to travel a lot to America. I was ranked number 1 in Europe for a long period of time. I didn't have the training partners here to help push me. I used to go over to American Top Team and train over there. And I did that quite regularly. And I would learn stuff out there. And I used to come back to England and I want to practice it. So I'd be coaching people and showing people. And for me, I wanted people to get better around me here in England because then it makes my training harder. And I want good people. Then I'll go back to I used to go back and forth. And I found coaching kind of very natural. I enjoyed helping people out. You know, even people like when I started off in the Nathaniel many years ago, I'm like, boom, you need to come train with us. Because for me, I saw talent in him. I saw that he was a good kid. And I'm like, boom, come with me. I'll help you. And yeah, again, I needed him as a potential training partner, which we trained towards the end of my career, and then he's gone on and done what he's done since, you know. So there is what I call like a conveyor belt of the sport. And now you see the same thing with like him. He's helping out people like Lonnie, and then Lonnie will get to where he is, and Nathaniel would have been retired, and then it's like is a conveyor belt, sort of thing. From the get go, I think you should not. It's such a hard thing as well, where to be a very good fighter, you just need to solely concentrate on fighting, 100%. If I want, but you have to think about the after, right? Because not everyone's going to make it, and not everyone's going to earn the best sort of money that I earn. Good money, but Connor's earned way more money than me. Not everyone's going to earn that type of money, So, it's like for me, when I started in the sport, I worked. I used to work a 9 to 5. I used to work in fashion before fighting. And then I started getting into fighting a little bit here. I actually wanted to become a stuntman, to be honest. But I wanted to get into fighting more. And my fighting started to take off. So I needed to train a little bit more. So I got a self-employed job where I used to work at at a desk. I become a laborer. So I could take time off work when I needed to. And then I used to work. Then I get to the stage where I knew that I was fighting at a certain date, work out how much money I would earn from my fight, because I used to also be very good at selling tickets, and that's a very big part of yourself. You have to understand this of your business. Selling tickets, I'd earn a certain amount of money from my fight, so then I could take some 3 weeks off before fight maybe and train full time. And then I'll fight and go straight back to work, and then train in the evening. We'll go for running in the morning, go to work, train in the evening. I used to do that until I build myself a bit of a name, and then I could do stuff where I was good enough at fighting where I could start doing PTs, teaching classes. You can't do that straight away until you build a bit of a reputation in the sport. You have to have knowledge. So I had to build myself as a fighter a little bit, and then I could start doing PTs, charging people for PT, personal training, charging people to me teaching classes. Then it got to the stage where I started earning good money within fighting, and then I could concentrate on fighting a lot more. But then I still would 100% do coaching and that out of camp, and then I'll go to American Top Team for 8 weeks before camp, and then all I'm doing there is focus on my training, fighting, and then when I come back to England, I used to coach in the evening, do PT, still train, but I used to train. It was easier to be able to be in the gym, training myself, and now just do a couple of PTs, and then train again in the evening, and so on and so forth. I think when you reach the level that I did when you're competing, you have that special thing about you where you enjoy competing. So I was always a very competitive person. I found it hard to completely retire, if that makes sense. Like you always, but I knew I had to. I mean, like, but then okay, right, I'm not going to fight maybe in the UFC, but maybe I could do a grappling match, or maybe I could do a bare knuckle boxing match. I could do other things, kind of thing, which is cool. But also, to be a good fighter, you have to be very motivated. And for me, it was quite motivating to, oh, cool, bare knuckle boxing match, I'll do that. So I was motivated to train for that. Don't get me wrong, later on in life, you do get more injuries. You have to be very careful and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just being smart. But you never lose that fire. Even now, when I walk out in the O2 with Nathaniel and Lonnie, I'm like, oh, man, I love this place, kind of thing. So my focus has shifted. My focus now, and I compete through my athletes. I want them to win. I want to compete. I want to be the best gym in the UK. Then I want to be the best gym in Europe, and so on and so forth. I really want my gym to do well. Yeah, for me, when I'm retired from the sport, this is the thing. So people see people lose in fights. Oh, he needs to retire. He needs to retire. But people don't realize, right? Like when I'm retired, right? I could potentially earn 100 grand in a fight. Why would I want to retire? I built years of grafting. when I first fight, I had fought for free. When I started fighting in the WC, I was on 3-3. My first fight in the UFC, I think I was on 8-8 or 6-6, and now I'm could potentially earn 100 grand in a fight. I'm like, why would you? I could earn life. I could earn more money in one night than people do in a whole year. Why, as a business wise, you think, man, I'm going to try and stay on this horse as long as I can, right? So it is a mixed trade-off, you know, like especially if you don't have anything to fall back on after fighting. You like you say, you ride until till the wheels fall off, you know. Me, yet again, I did have plans. I knew I wanted to make Great Britain top team. I had those plans. I had that in my mind. I had my team. I already decided doing it, so I had something to fall back on. Where you do see, I do find it kind of unsensitive when people are, oh, that guy should just retire. He's lost 2 fights in a row. Man, like even now, people will be saying, Leon Edwards, he's just lost the title. Bilal Muhammad, now he's just lost again. Maybe he should retire. What are you on about? The guy's earning ridiculous money. He's doing a sport that he loves. Technically, it's a job. If you love your job still, do it, you know? So that's why I find it's kind of hard to tell people when to retire. It's definitely a personal decision on themselves. Don't get me wrong, if there's health issues involved, like Bisping with his eye and stuff like that, now he's got to be a bit less selfish and think about his family and so on and so forth. So there are those sort of decisions to be made. But solely it's down to the fighter and the people, closest people around him, his coaches and his family. They need to make a decision.